All right, welcome back to the KnivesFAST channel, guys. It's time for another review of a knife sent to me on loan, this particular one from White Mountain Knives. And this is the Kizer Cormorant, this is the Canvas Micarta exclusive version for White Mountain Knives. And this does have all the features of the Cormorant V2. So say hello to Ren and Stimpy, Powder Toast Man, Log, and TV. And let's get started on the KnivesFAST channel. So as I said, this is, there you go. You got the Cormorant, 3.23 inches. You is the designer, not you is the designer. There's the model number. 3V blade, micarta, steel liner. And then let's just take a look at the Kizer box. For those of you who haven't seen it, you do have this really cool box. Paperwork in the top. Man, I don't know what it is with me in these boxes. Oh, really? All right, hold on a second. Off camera. So there's the paperwork. You do have extra screws in there. Very, very cool there. And nice box. Nicely done. Wow. I'm just having a rough time today. I don't know what it is. So there you go. All right, so let's talk about the knife finally, since I got stuck on the box for 5 minutes there. So on the scales, you do have this really great micarta, and it does have some really nice grip to it. Now, you do get a little extra grip with these X's and the strange marks. It is good that on this one, the X's and everything are the same color as the handle scale. I definitely approve of that. You do have barrel spacers there. It is a button lock, so you have nice grip. The button lock stands proud. The pivot stands a little bit proud. Tooling on one side. You do have a really nice Kizer clip here. Really, really good. Those screws are not flat, but again, plenty of room. This clip is okay. There's a little too much flat here, and if you have thicker pants, it does tend to get caught a little bit. But the retention is wonderful. It's really good. Nice finish on the micarta, nice and rounded. Feels great in the hand. So let's talk about the blade. You got a 3V blade here with this really interesting thumb ramp and a flat spot, and you do have jimping all the way down. And you have this really cool blade shape. I really, really dig it a lot. They call it a sheep's foot, and whoops, sorry, I didn't know I was off camera. They call it a sheep's foot, and that's exactly what I would call it, but I just wanted to make sure before I told you. And it is a hollow grind on that, so which is really cool. You do have relief from the plunge, so really good job on the sharpening choil there. Man, just a really cool. You do have swedging right here, which looks really, really cool, but it thickens back up towards the tip a little bit. Which is really, really cool. This is a fairly light feeling knife. Let's see what it says. It says this is 3 ounces. Pretty darn good. Now, billboarding, you have the Kizer logo in 3V, and you have U's logo, I believe that is. I don't know that for sure. And the Cormorant name. I think it's, what's the name? Oh, man, I'm going to forget. He has an online presence, and there's a name for it, but I think that's what that is. Somebody's going to correct me in the comments, and that's fine. So on the ergonomics, let's start with my first of a couple of dings on this knife. And again, this is my first time feeling a Cormorant. So the natural feel for holding this knife is to get into that groove. And if I do that, I'm way back here, and that clip kind of digs into my palm a little. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's not a hot spot, but it definitely corners and digs there, depending on where you hit it. Now, it is tip up, reversible on that clip, which is really good. You do have stainless steel liners set in that micarta, and you do have weight relief holes, which explains why it's down around 3 ounces. So back to the grip. I feel like the way you should grip this knife is like this. And again, I don't like being forced into that squared off hole. It's just me, I guess. Some have said they really like it. Now, if you come forward, now this finger is only part in that. So you do have kind of a flat spot here, but this finger is kind of on that spot right there. So, you know, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to say this at the cost of hurting feelings or saying things the wrong way. But when you see a knife that's pumped up, like the way the Cormorant, the version 1 and the version 2 have been by the community, sometimes you get this thing in your head where this thing is just going to be no issues, unbelievable. And to me, it's not quite there for me. And what I mean, but that is just not a comfortable grip for me. It's not comfortable like that. It's not comfortable like this because now I'm hovering right there. You see, I can't get down. And if I come all the way up, now I'm going to get on the edge of that blade. It's just not comfortable. I do like that in either grip, I can come up here and I'm not going anywhere. That jimping is great. The thumb ramp is great. That's good. Now, the other thing, I've heard people say this is a fidget magnet, and you have both a front flipper and a rear flipper and a hole. So you have a lot of ways to open this knife. For me, it's definitely, maybe it's just this one, but the detent is weak for me. You can see this, you can make it go, but it definitely is failable and pretty easily. And it's not the geometry of the flipper. It's the spring or the detent or whatever it is pretty weak. I showed this in my unboxing. You can do that very easily. It is, and again, I've heard people say this is a fidget magnet, and it's just not for me. Now, can I do this if I really hit it? Sure, but does it, then it bounces out, and I don't care for that because now I'm not going anywhere the next time around. So it's kind of a miss for me in that department. Front flip, I actually do pretty good with the front flip on this one. I don't have any issues with front flipping it. Middle finger, you can do it, but I definitely fail it quite often because there's just not really a detent. Thumb flick, you got to use a little wrist and you can get it out. And you can see it just stops midway. It's just not a super fidgety knife for me. Now, does that mean I wouldn't buy it or carry it? Absolutely not. This is a good knife. It's a nice thin cutter. So let's talk about those specs real quick. It is overall a, well, where's the overall? Oh my goodness, they didn't list the overall. There it is, 7.32 inches, 4.09 closed, 3.23 on the blade, so that's a good size. And I love that 3V steel, but we are at 0.118 on the thickness, which is great. And the handle thickness is just under half an inch. I mean, there's a lot to love about this knife. I just, again, if I compare it, as a lot have had to the Spyderco Smock, I would definitely take a Smock. Now, can I do this? Sure, I can. If you hold it just right and you get used to it, you absolutely can fidget until you fail it because it bounces back. So again, I know I sound a little bit like I'm whining a little bit about this knife, and I know a lot of you really like it, and that's just my opinion. Anyway, so this one is going to be right at $119. Unfortunately, is currently out of stock. I'm not sure. It was an exclusive, so I'm not sure if they're going to do more or not. Now, the original Cormorant and the V2 Cormorant are both out of stock as well at White Mountain Knives, but you can click on the Notify Me, and it will let you know when they are back in. And those also run right at $119. So there you go, guys. You know, a review is an opinion of a reviewer, and again, this is not one that I'm really striking. It is a great knife, and I would definitely carry it. It's just not one that excites me quite as much as the hype, if that makes any sense, because there's several things that you know, kind of ding it a little bit for me. So there you go. Hope you liked the review, and thank you very much for watching, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. I love the interaction. I love any comments or questions you have. I'll answer them or do my best to answer. And if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. And thanks so much, guys, for watching the Knives Fast channel.